first started on your phone, and I was doing a lot of art handling then, I would be up on a ladder, like in a fucked up position, and somehow Suri would get hit, and she'd be like, "How can I help you today?" or some shit.
Fuck, I hate when that happens.
It's
It's like
like,
no one was even talking. Yeah,
like,
I don't even remember summoning you.
yeah, I wasn't trying to talk to you.
Fuck. Tell me what is the name that you go by? Who are you?
My nickname is Hox,
Hox.
H-O-X, and it comes from my last name, HOXXOH.
Okay.
There's no X in the spelling of my last name, but growing up, my dad would like use it for a short, like going to Olive Garden.
Okay.
And they would used to ask your
What-
last name because it was fine
Like, so what's the
dining at
table?
Olive Garden. You
Yeah.
know?
So
And he would just be like H-O-X
Okay,
instead of
gotcha.
trying to spell out the H-O-E-K-Z-E-M-A.
That makes sense.
And then I just adopted it when I was in high school for my graph name.
So did you just like because I see it on Instagram, did you just do from the X and then go backwards?
Yeah, that was totally a product of HOX was not available on Instagram.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. So you just like figured out a dope way to.
I just did a palindrome. I just flipped it.
Gotcha.
Like race car.
Okay.
But HOXXOH is actually an ambigram as well.
That's exactly.
You can read it upside down.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Like those little tattoos.
I don't think there's
both
enough.
ways.
I think that's the only word that you can read as an ambigram and a palindrome. I didn't Google it, but I don't think there is one.
So man, like when did you get into the art world, man? Like when did that start about?
High school.
Yeah.
95. I did my first mural
95.
at my high school.
Hell yeah. How did they give you that? How'd you get that opportunity to do it at your school? Like were
It
you?
was art class. I just asked. They had a little courtyard, and I asked for it.
Dope.
It's funny. My high school teacher wrote me today.
Yeah.
Yeah, wanting to catch up. Just reminds me we gotta write him back.
You gotta get back to it.
Gotta get back
Well, that's
to
what's up, man. So after that, you kind of just like figured out that hey, I'm about to start doing this on a bigger scale.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I just was always inspired to scale up. And yeah, like in high school, that's when I like met some of my fellow crew members. But I didn't get into the crew, my graffiti crew, until like 2006. But I was always down to paint with them. And my crew did a lot of themed murals, so it'd be like background. I was like, if anything, I was more involved on the background.
For sure. And speaking of like your style, man, I want to talk about how you develop like I've been calling them your funnel tunnels.
Funnel tunnel.
It's like,
that works.
Where'd you get that? Because it reminds me, I don't know if you've seen the movie Enter the Void, but there's a part in the movie in the beginning where he essentially smokes a little bit of DMT and starts seeing these trippy patterns.
Yeah.
Right? And it kind of reminds me of the patterns that you were going with.
I've heard it's a good one to definitely do some DMT.
You know what I mean?
My mural.
So how did you?
I discovered that U-shaped mark in 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
And at the time I was just doing like these trying to do these like circles. They look like kind of puff balls. And
Okay.
I would do spirals and and that around, I think it was 2009, I helped El Mac and Retina paint a wall in Miami. And I was already a fan of El Mac's work. You know his work?
I've been looking on it on you.
I did a collab with him.
Yeah, I
here
saw your
in Rhino.
collaboration. Yeah.
It's all technique driven. So he's using a super fat cap, which is the same I'm in, and it's about figuring out a technique and then building on that. So I was like, really inspired what El Mac was doing, and then I discovered, Futura. I knew of Futura's work, but then I had a friend show me this one piece he did called Fountain, and again it was the same mark except for Lenny Futura is stabbing the can against the wall.
Okay.
You could just hit the cap, and I don't touch the wall.
Like, and it creates that like.
It does. It's just using half the cone.
Got you.
So
Okay.
it's coming out, and you're only using half of that.
So okay, got you.
And I don't touch the wall. It's more like a flick. Thing.
It's a flick of the wrist.
Yeah, it's like somebody was telling me, it's kind of like in graffiti terms, it's like a reverse flare.
Okay.
So like when
That's
you're doing your letter,
interesting,
you usually flare out. This is I'm flaring back into the wall.
Like Spider-Man almost, dude.
Several thousand times. The first one I kind of did was just, for a while it was just madness. I just would just keep, filling a wall and there was no end at sight. So then I just did a big circle that would contain it. And then, which led to concentric rings, which fell into a mandala.
That's what I'm like, damn, so it just developed off of that?
And then in DC, what year was that? It was 2016. I off-centered the circles, and that created that vortex and the depth, the wormhole or portal void.
I want to know about the first day that you used a sprinkler to paint on a wall or whatever you painted on first. Like, what was that day like?
A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Because I see you, dude. I see you whipping this thing around and making these trippy ass designs and patterns and splatter art, bro. Like,
it was definitely a hyper mess. Like,
God, yo, it looks like
it's now getting more and more dialed. But I mean, it, kind of like a joke, I guess, like just brainstorming on like, because I was interested in objects that spray paint. Mm-hmm. So, started with the can, and then it was just kind of like, man, I want to just pump it out with sprinklers.
Just fucking juice this shit out.
Like, I had these ideas for where the irrigation system started was I have a concept for rigging like a U-Haul truck with irrigation systems.
Okay.
I had like two ideas. I wanted to paint a highway, like the whole highway.
Jesus Christ, bro, that's a
lot
of.
So
you're having a big drum.
So it's like, yeah, like once I did loose math, and it's like, man, that's like.
It's a lot.
It's not like a U-Haul. It's like
you need a fucking
several semi trucks.
You need like a damn a cement truck almost.
Even or bigger.
Or even bigger.
Then I was like, oh, maybe it could be like a pattern. But it was like, but just like the idea of like, irrigation system spraying paint. Or like a truck would drive around 5 buildings in a downtown, and there'd just be different colored squares. It was like another idea. And like, this was before drones, and I was like, fuck, I need a helicopter.
Type shit
get that photo.
Exactly.
So it could be like, oh, that's cool,
Yeah.
These haven't happened.
You said this was before drones.
Yeah, this idea I've had was before drones existed. So it was like cool. I came up with this idea that like I don't have the fucking money to do this. No. I mean, maybe I have a couple ideas I'm cooking on. I mean, I had a collector offer me a fire truck, so it was like,
oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm seeing that in my head. That's
and
madness.
they have I found a farming irrigation.
Okay, so like a big fucking
giant.
Dude, those are like
comes on a trailer.
Yeah, dude.
It shoots 120 feet.
Dude. Because I've driven past those big fucker things. Yeah, like, you see what I'm saying? What would you even?
I don't even. What the fuck am I gonna?
What are you gonna do?
Paint a whole town?
I mean, fuck it. Let's do it, dude. Let's do it. Let's paint this village, man, right now.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I've kind of like I have an idea for doing a giant pendulum, which I did with a 5-gallon, and then I was like, oh, the next one would be like an oil drum, and then like a crane, right?
You need a chain, dude.
Yeah, I mean the weight, whatever, that's not a big deal. And the pendulum, whether it's like a 10-foot rope or when you scale it up, it still does the same patterns.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the next one I'm looking to do would be, instead of paint, which would get me into like land sculpting, I would fill it with like a mud mixture and sunflower seeds.
What the fuck?
And then throw it, and it would, and in theory, it would grow a giant spiral sunflower maze, and like get the time lapse shot of that, and like maybe that's an NFT, and then.
Dude, that's fire.
Which like led into thinking like, what else could I shoot? Like, can I shoot seeds? And I was like, maybe I could do like chia seeds.
Why can't you?
So I was like, I'm hoping this year I can really get into this, where like, maybe with the backpack rigs I'm doing, I could.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Do
bro.
like a clay, like a chia pet on maybe I could write with chia spraying on the wall. Like, it's
dude, that would be nasty.
Or it's just the fire truck and we're just covering.
Yeah, dude, that's it, bro. We're about to change. We're about to help Mother Nature with art and fucking seeds, dude.
I don't think like it would definitely create a conversation. I don't think it's going to. I don't think the chia seed's gonna like grow for years. I think it's like a one crop. But
well, it will at least to spark the ideas for these solutions, man, with the creativity, bro. Because that is a really dope idea that I have never heard, and I want to see that app. I want to see.
Same.
Yeah.
It's like these. That's what I've been cooking on for maybe a year or two now, and I definitely want to see that through this year.
You know,
it's definitely at least doing like small prototypes.
That's what I'm saying. You could
the
do
small
with those,
pendulum, and like I could do some smaller panels, but I do have one guy interested in Texas, so it's like I've told it to 2 collectors, and they're like,
well, they got the space down there.
Yeah, Texas got
so
land.
they got the fucking.
And this guy's selling
canvas.
land. He has a whole metaverse, a Decentraland, where he's like scanned thousands of acres of land.
Jesus Christ! So it's like 40x scanning. And
so what I understand is like you fly around, you look at this land on an Oculus, like you could digitally experience it, and then you buy the physical, and you're also getting the digital land.
I don't even know what this world is about.
And I met this guy just this past December, and it was like, oh, of course, like what a great way to
That's
be
a beautiful way to
a hybrid of selling real land and then selling this new
digital
digital Wild Wild West land.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Bro, I'm excited, bro,
Same.
to see what comes from all of that, dude. Well, man, I am, dude. I want to know more about like what you've got planned for like yourself in the New Year's. I know you're down in Miami.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff you got going on down there, man?
Miami, I've spent the last month resetting up my studio, just expanding it a little bit, and working with a group of artists down there, and we're kind of turned the interior of my studio in this weird Web3 like workshop.
Okay.
Bought a couple 3D printers, a resin one, and don't really know what we're doing, but we're just playing around.
Sounds
like
fun though.
Learning how to print it. It's got me thinking a little differently, like maybe how I could integrate some of this 3D printing into my painting process, like in the studio. I don't know, just cooking on things. Dude. My studio's kind of, I try to have an open door policy, and there's a good group that we kind of just fall into this brainstorming on a lot of NFT conversation, and then facilitating actually making physical paintings.
Love it, because you are kind of a fucking big deal, dude. So it's cool to be able to learn from your experiences in this new way of holding, making, moving, selling art. And sounds like you got a lot of fucking cool shit down there in Florida. We got to come check out, man, for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, I'm excited for everything you got going on, bro.
Yeah, next is I fly back because on Sunday I'm driving to Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay, what you doing there?
A new Rainbird garden paint.
Okay.
And there'll be a lot more control on this one, because the last time I installed with those irrigation paint tools, I discovered I could do these like 4-foot circles out of one of these garden nozzles.
So wait, from the nozzle is 4 foot from the...
It's like a can of spray paint, super fat, you'll get like a cone that's like about that. And this one's shooting, maybe it's 3 foot.
Christ,
I didn't really put a measuring tape on it.
But it's big as hell.
It was big, and then I was like, oh, I can make a pattern with those large rings.
For sure.
So this guy offered me, I got a gig there to do like, I think it's like 100 foot by maybe 15 feet high. But I get to figure out if I can do some kind of, we'll see. I haven't totally figured out that one, but I will by, I think, Tuesday next week.
Yeah, all right, well, shit.
When I'm painting it, the garden tools, it's fast.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one we tested, it shot 2 gallons in 15 seconds.
Damn, dude.
And it was rust.
Do you have to hire someone to?
No, this one was a stationary tank, and we had like a remote.
Good shit.
It was Rust-Oleum chrome. So it was like $100 in 15 seconds.
Dude.
It was like, all right.
Whoa.
And then we did a 5 gallon, and I think that was like a minute and a half. And I was like, all right, let's definitely 50-50.
Yeah.
Cut it with some water.
Should we put something else in it?
I didn't really have like, the paint goes fast.
Yeah, no shit.
And when you're like trying to discover what it can do,
It's an expensive R&D.
Yeah, the studio. You know, I'm not there yet. Where like I got to be really frugal with how to juggle things. But
we're all learning, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gotta get that balance in.
Yeah, learning and I really enjoy learning from failing as much as possible. I don't know, my studio process, like, man, I'll crank out on a good day, like maybe 20 pieces, but I'm only like stoked on 4 or 5 of them.
Right, it's like the 20/80 rule.
But then it's like, give it a month or two, and then like I'm looking back on what I'm really happy with. It's like, it's just funny how you
is, right?
You get caught in these like narrow-minded perspectives on things, and
you
like,
really
like, or you just need to be in a different headspace kind of thing to appreciate something, you know?
You get caught in the funnel tunnel, dude.
Yeah, like, cause it's like the joke for me is like, I'll start laughing at some works because it's like I've learned some of the pieces I hate the most initially is the ones that like
or the most
I really like it grows on me. It's
dude,
like,
it's like, yo,
there's moments when like there's no way I'm gonna end up liking this. And I'm like, this is bad. This is bad.
But then something about it, it's like a little ugly duckling, man. It turns into a swan somehow. You know?
Totally.
Well, shit, man. I know I gotta get you down to Miami, man. You got a flight to catch, dude. I appreciate you being able to come and speak to me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, it's been a good time
to get back up to Denver.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Let me know, man. If we gonna be down there in Florida, we gotta check out all that madness you got going on.
Yeah.
Really?
Hit
fucking scientists, dude, down there, dude.
It is a weird science.
Yes, sir. Thank you. What you got going on over there, my man?
No, you're good.
Dude, thanks again for coming, dude. Seriously. Oh shit, we said at the same time. It's simulation, bro.